Oh, I'm glad for another day that the Lord has made. This is new mercies. It's a day we never seen before. Look at my grandbaby. Hey, Pooh. So glad to have you. Is it good? It's good. Isn't it good? But we're here just gathering together and talking about life, really. I'm just so honored to have my daughter here, my grandchild, and my mom. We often talk about how we have such a tight-knit family. A lot of my friends and close people say, I love how you love your family. I said, this is all I know. In fact, under Big Mom, which we call the willow tree, that's who I sat with majority of the time. And she taught me so much coming up. I have it down deep in my shanana when it comes to family, including my father and how he's instilled in us staying together, taking care of each other. And this lady right here, listen, there's nothing I wouldn't do for her. What about you? Nothing we wouldn't do. Nothing we wouldn't do. We're just honored to have her. She's our matriarch. She's a covering. She graced us with a blessing. We find favor just for her being with us in the midst in the house. I know her presence brings God's covering. So today we're coming together. We're going to just chat, talk, and express. We're going to make a meal. And this is called, ta-da!
It is a barbecue Southwest salad because it is healthy and it is filling and
Flavorful. Now, y'all know I like all things green. They call me the trees lady. But got a little bit of meat in there. Got me some chicken that's roasted that we're going to add to it. But besides that, this is just a time for us to come together. You know that we cover love therapy as well. That's one of the ministries we have. With my husband and I, both of us have been divorced and remarried. We now have a blended family. And matter of fact, quite a few of them are in the house today, even though we just have the 4 generations represented at the table. This is a big old table.
Big old island.
This island is suitable for where we have expanded. That's what I think. I think it's suitable for where we have expanded. Up here for the meal, we've got corn and beans. We have tortilla strips, tomatoes, our seasoning. We're going to do that barbecue and ranch in there. We got some cilantro. I'm going to use a little bit of olive oil to just heat up this chicken and the corn itself. You know I got to throw me some broccoli in there. It's not even supposed to be a part of the, ingredients, but I'm going to take it. We got a little bit of cheese. Not too much. We're not going to do too heavy on the dairy. We have lemons, and we also have our bell peppers, 3 different colors. This is romaine lettuce, correct? We're having this in here sliced very thin, and we have our mixed greens as well. So we're getting a plethora of, I say, vitamins from iron to protein. We're getting our vitamin C, D, B as well. We got some vitamin E in here. We got calcium as well. So just a healthy, fun meal. Oh, we also have my baby girl's favorite, what she's eating over there. Cucumbers in the house. So, what you think, Mom? She's over here making a very beautiful bouquet of flowers. We like fresh cut flowers. We said we're going to do that from now on. We're talking about life and having life in the family and presenting that. I just love the flowers, whether they do their season and it's time to let them go and bring the new season in. How about that? Who caught that? Bring the new season in.
New season,
Spring forward with the new season. So we'll have this representation of life. She's doing an amazing job. How you feel today, Mom?
I feel great, and I'm so happy to be still a part of this family. And God has spared me to enjoy my family again.
Yes.
And I just like to be around, and I just miss having my sweetheart around.
Yeah.
But God has equipped us to go on. But I just want to just say a few words about having a long marriage.
Oh, okay.
Because young people today are not staying together.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think it's important because God ordained marriage.
Yes, ma'am.
We have to cherish it and follow the way the Lord said do it. We can't do it our own way. If we do it our own way, we're going to mess up.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You have to, and it's not going to be easy. You have to work on it. It doesn't come by osmosis.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you put in, the more you're going to get out. So I try to live the life so that they can see what it looks like. Yes. Not what they say, but what I lived. My husband and I were very, very close. It wasn't easy, but we did a lot of compromising. When he said yes, we discuss it, and I agree. But if I didn't agree, I would just discuss my side. And we have to compromise.
Yes.
And we did that all through my marriage. We had up and we had down. We had good. The good outweighed the bad.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So when we made our vows, they meant something.
Right.
It didn't mean that tomorrow I stood before God and I made a vow. Mm-hmm. And we both said, to death do we part. And that's exactly what he meant. And when we talked about renewing our marriage, he always said to me, mine is still good. My old is still good. And he meant that. And he carried it right up until the end. So I would advise young people, don't jump on the bandwagon because somebody else is doing this or doing that. You talk it over with each other. You have to make your own marriage. You have to work it out between the two of you. And I guarantee you, the Lord will keep you.
Yes. Yes.
Keep you together.
He will.
Be real in everything that you do. Don't put on. Learn his ways.
Yes.
And he learned your way. And together, you're going to come out with a good formula.
Right.
And I really think that God has to be in it. If God is not in it, it's not going to work.
Right.
Because when little things come up, you're going to throw your hand up and say, no,
can't do it.
I'm done with it. But that's not what God will help you get through whatever you need to get through.
Amen. And
then I trust him. And even though my husband didn't agree to a lot, he allowed me to do.
Yes.
He allowed me to do what I felt was right. But I talked to my grandson because he's also, one day he's going to get a wife.
Right.
He's going to get a wife.
Ooh, help me, Lord.
And he has to know what to do.
Right.
And I thank God that he's leading me around so that I can see it.
Yes.
I can see it and I can continue to guide them.
Yes.
And I pray to the Lord that they get good mates.
Yes.
Yep.
Good Christian mates.
They love the Lord.
And love the Lord. And I'm going to be around and pray. You got to pray. Don't leave praying out.
Uh-huh.
Pray for your husband. Pray for your kids. Pray for yourself.
Yeah.
And everything is going to be okay. Thank God. Thank God. Yes.
Thank God.
Yes.
I mean, that's been the advice I've gotten down through the years. My mom has been there in such a way that it has truly blessed me to be the woman that I am and that I'm still becoming. So I'm thankful for her being in my life, giving me the things that I need to even instill in my child. You know, my daughter who's here represented, I do them all, but just with Nicole being here and representing her siblings as my kids, and then her being able to put that into my grandbaby. You know, I love my niece. I've been able to have her as a part of my life. She's an integral part of who we are as well. She's gotten that blessing from my mom and my dad, her grandparents, and I see her flourishing as well. So as a daughter of a seasoned woman of God and a man that was a man's man who knew how to take care of his household, knew how to take care of his wife, listen, Toomer didn't play about Neat. When I tell you he didn't play about Neat, this one here, and he made sure we understood what she represented, who she was to him. And when he set that tone, we got it. So she's somebody that we respect and we honor. And it is my pleasure and my deepest honor to be able to now give back to her in any way that I can. Her staying and living with us, I don't take that for granted. Just like she said, she's going to be around. Mama, you are like, what, 83?
I'll be 80, 84.
She's going to be 84 coming up. But I'm talking about popping. You know, we're trying to still keep up with Neat. And my daddy knew who he had. He knew she was a gift. He knew how much she cherished her life with God and how she was with her mother. And I bless and just encourage all of those who have mothers. Don't take it for granted. They're not perfect, but they're what God has given us, and you're here because of her. You know, reach out to your mom. Spend time with your mom. You never know when that last day is going to be, and you would have hoped you had some time to be with her. So I'm honored I get to spend this time with my mother. So there's really nothing that she could want that I wouldn't try to give or provide for her. So, and as a woman now married, again, I said my second time, the fact that I am a Christian woman who believes in longevity even in marriage. I'm married forever. I'm married for what God had given me to be able to come together. Like she said, marriage is honorable. I respect the sanctity of marriage. You know, I gave it my all in the presence of God that he would bless me to know that, hey, well done as a wife, as a mother. And in that not coming to fruition where I was able to maintain my marriage in the longevity, he let me know in forgiveness and in healing and in recovering that I would be able to love again. That's not something that I thought really I was going to be able to do. And I was almost okay with just my kids being good, having my mom in my life and living for God and just, you know, excelling in the things of purpose he had for me. But still and yet he brought a young man who really, who they kept saying he robbed the cradle when he got me, you know, really lined up with who I am and who he is, speaking, you know, how you say that baby leap from one to the other, you know, who he is really lines with God and purpose. I know God did this. So loving again, I think, is a gift to us, and we're cherishing and even taking care of that. Learning from before, learning from the hurt, the pain, the disappointment. I'm telling y'all, it's just not easy. Divorce is like a death. It's not something I would want anybody to go through. And if you can save your marriage and work through that, work through it. Make that thing your priority and know that God can do anything. And it takes two to come together like that and believing in God to make it whole. So this time, we're going all the way through. I said, he's not going anywhere. This is forever. Bruh, we together forever. This is us.
Amen.
You know, amen. I mean, you know, just listen, no, that there's no options. We don't even give it an option. It's not an option. And so we're doing all the things God has for us to do moving forward with that. And I know my daughter had an opportunity to see me on both sides, to witness that from the hurt to the triumph, to victory. And I'm excited about even what 2024 has in store for God to use us through the things as we are testifying of what he can do. And it was miraculous in the healing. And we want to be able to share that because you too can have it with all this delicious food. about to come forth. How about you,
Amen,
Nay?
amen.
And I want to tell you about this young lady. I'm telling you, she's my mini me. I remember many days God would wake me up early in the morning, 4:30 a.m. I'm on my knees, away from the family, just giving my presence unto God, and just, I didn't realize it was just intercessor prayer that I was doing to cover my family and my future, and, being in the will of God in such a way that I don't want any of me, God, more of you. Thy will be done. I mean, really travailing. I was amongst the feet of the women of Zion. Great women in the church took me under their wing and taught me how to be a woman of God. Taught me how even to be a wife at a young age, and also to honor my elders and those that are in position to help me get where I have to go. Correction that comes along with it, and not being challenged to be able to be corrected, because they loved me. They wanted my soul to make it in. They wanted me to be able to not fall to the hands of the enemy. And so it was important to have that. So I'm thankful for this young lady in my life. God gave her to me, and she would get up early in the morning with me at 4:30, and I feel these little fingers in this hand coming in prayer. And I'm telling you, every morning she got up and came down and did prayer. So it's in her. It's in her, and I thank God for her in my life.
Praise God.
I do. I thank God for you. I do. I do.
And you're going to be blessed.
Blessed.
You started off right.
Yes.
So, you guys have such wisdom. You're such a wealth of knowledge and great example. And you've always been a great example, Mom, from when I was small all the way up until now, with everything that you've done in your life. You've done it with such grace and with God at the head of your life. And it's taught me so much, and even how to navigate the hard times when it comes down to life, and also in marriage. Even the things I've learned from your mistakes, I've learned from your triumphs.
Amen.
And even more so, Mama and Papa, that is... Uh-oh, you okay? Want some water? Okay. I've learned from their mistakes. You just gotta roll with it, man.
You do. That's mama right there. That's our mama right there.
But yeah. Water. There we go. As far as marriage is concerned, I'm at the very beginning of my journey in marriage.
Yes.
And I'm trying to apply everything that you guys have taught me, all the life lessons I've learned from you guys in my marriage. But what I found to be the most challenging is that I think I went into marriage with a little bit of a misunderstanding of how marriage is supposed to be. So
Right.
I saw a quote that was saying, you don't marry somebody hoping that they'll be the same person forever.
Right.
You marry them knowing that they'll change. Yes, please. More, please. Okay, she's very demanding.
That's my boo.
And I also feel like in the beginning of my marriage, we had a kid very early, and that threw in a lot of obstacles and challenges for us, and we had to learn how to stay married and stay in love even with all the obstacles. And we grew with having a child and going through our trials and stuff like that.
Right.
Very early on. So I believe that's made our marriage stronger, but I feel like that's just what's going to happen, is along the way your marriage is going to be made stronger with all of the challenges and obstacles you'll face. But that's what makes your marriage so beautiful. Right? Yeah, I feel like I want to know why you guys feel like marriages aren't lasting as long nowadays, like with the younger generations, and I mean millennials on down. Like, why is marriage not as, I guess, looked at the same way as it was back in even Mama's day? Like, why do you feel like that's the case?
And looking for a way out. You can't not have God in it, because
Right.
when people do it in themselves, I'm trying to tell you, you are not enough. God ordained this. He made marriage available for us. He has all of the answers that we need to get through it and to stick together. He said we become one flesh. One flesh. And so that's bringing two wholes together is pretty powerful. Touching and agreeing in God is I think the in sync between you and who your spouse is, where it takes two, and then it also takes us as women of God being able to pray for our husbands, being able to travail. I'm telling you, I've watched my mother when my daddy was not trying to line up. And by the time I closed my eyes and opened it, it was a new man. I was like, Mama, how you do that? Like what you got going on that you able to do this? And she said, I pray. He knows. And he's tried me to say, if anybody can reach God, it's your mom. Because she lived that life. She lived that life before us. She lived that life before him. And if you can say that, what he said, when a woman can help, or your spouse can help sanctify the other, one can sanctify the other. My mom is a living testament of that. I've watched my father give his life over to God. And he was like, Nee, I sin no more. I sin no more, Nee. He had just given totally unto the Lord. And he knew the door was through God, but through her. God used her with her husband. You can't tell me prayer don't work. You can't tell me that God in the center of it can't change a thing with the man that you're with.
What did you
He
say?
knows him better.
What did you say that to me that one time when you were talking to me about how the woman is who brings her family, her husband included, to Christ?
That same thing where I was saying, where you can sanctify your spouse, where and a woman can actually build her home or tear it down.
Yeah,
she has that much power. She, I believe that's why God didn't give us the head, because of what we bring and who we are. As powerful as that is, He knew how to cap that, because we're to help support that man.
Yeah.
To God help, as God guiding him, we're that unction underneath his breast.
Yeah.
As his rib to help him to make it. Even if he didn't make that idea and think he did. Yeah, baby, you good. We all right. You so smart. You so handsome. You are amazing. Who can push and propel your husband better than you? I don't want no one else to do it better than me.
No.
And it's not all about, telling him. Yeah. But it's the life you lived before. You have to be real. They can look through that.
They sure can.
You have to be real.
Sure can.
And sometimes being real, you don't have to always say something.
Yeah.
It's an action. They see it. And they'll try all kind of things to test you. To see if it will work.
Ooh, that's when you cry.
I remember one time my husband, he said, he didn't want me to go to church.
Yeah, I remember this.
And I would go, I said, well, if I don't go to this church, I'm going somewhere else. I got to serve the Lord. Mm-hmm. So I got off and went to another church. I got my kids together and put them in that car, and I went to Newburgh. Uh-oh. So when I got back home, he said, you might as well go on back up to your church. Because he saw that I was going to serve, whether I be there or go someplace else.
That's right.
And another example is, he was upset because I went, and he was going to go out. He was going to go out and stay out. And the Lord just spoke to me. He said, don't worry. He ain't going nowhere. I went to sleep. And he came on in. And I was in the bed sleep. He said, you ain't even worried about it. But he was testing me.
Yes.
And you have to be able to stand the test, because the devil will trick you.
Yes, he will.
He will trick you, but you have to be consistent and stand fast. And they watching you. That's how you can save them, because they're going to watch you. They're going to test you. And they're going to see if you're for real.
Right. That's true. That's true, Mom.
Yeah. So, yeah, you have to live it. You have to be consistent. And you can draw your family, your husband, just what the Bible says. Because God does not say things that doesn't happen. It's going to happen. If He said
it is so.
It will happen.
It is so.
So live the life. Live the life before. And your kids will respect you too. Your kids will respect you.
That's true, babe.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's so true, so true. I was in a conversation with Devin after church, and I'm telling you, to this day, I'm still blown away. And it was like 7 days ago, maybe almost 2 weeks ago, really. And he brought up, Mom, I remember you getting up and going into prayer. I remember that being a house of God. That this was a safe place for us to grow, make mistakes, bounce back. But I'm telling you, my roots are grounded in God. He said, it's coming back to me now. I feel it, all of it. I feel like God is on my life because you lived it before me, and that's what we put. I said, that's so true. I'm thankful because it was done for me. That's what I lived under my mom, putting that in me and being able to do that for my child. That could have been the best compliment he could have ever gave me. And didn't do it to be seen. I really was doing it to make it through. So a part of that, as you move forward, Nicole, what's your hopes for marriage?
Long lasting. Long lasting marriage, forever and ever. We always talk about how we want to grow old together and, build. I want to be able to build with my husband and create legacy as you guys have done for us.
Right.
And keep that lineage going. And just be an example, I guess, to other young couples who may be on the fence of whether marriage is for them or not, whether marriage still works or not. Just be an example to them. So that's my hope.
And don't worry about the mistakes in it, because God is the one that breaks the yoke.
Yes.
God breaks the yoke.
You can't break it. He breaks it.
Let him do it.
Don't worry about
Let him
mistakes
do
that
it.
are made.
Amen. Amen. Good stuff, y'all. Good stuff.